Are you struggling with hormone symptoms like fatigue, high stress, mood swings, low libido, or irregular periods for women? Did you know that certain herbs used for centuries actually have real scientific backing for hormone balance? But taking the wrong herbs can make things worse. Today, I'll show you the best herbs for hormone balance for both men and women, who should use them, what the science says, and what to avoid. It's important to remember that scientific validation, while it's important, I would not discount centuries of traditional use of herbs. Both Chinese herbs, Ayurvedic herbs, Western herbs, and a skilled herbalist will know exactly which herbs and in what combination to give for a patient. While a scientific study just gives everyone the exact same herb for the exact same condition and then assesses what happens. And this is where taking a thorough case history can also help. Plus, using the more advanced testing options that we have for high or low cortisol, plus the rhythm of cortisol throughout the day, sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and how they're getting metabolized. I'll discuss some of the testing options later, but let's first look at the best herbs that work for hormone balance. The first herbs we're going to talk about are for both men and women, and number one is ashwagandha. This helps to reduce stress, cortisol, supports thyroid function, and it helps to balance the reproductive hormones, probably from modulating stress. And it can help both men and women and help with energy levels, irregular cycles, PMS, low libido. Ashwagandha has strong research for stress, thyroid, and reproductive support. The main benefits for improving hormone health come from reducing stress. Potential side effects are usually rare, but you've got to be careful for things like liver if you have high liver enzymes or if you have an overactive thyroid. And usually it's best to avoid most herbs in pregnancy. Rhodiola is another adaptogen that can help to improve energy levels, mood, and just help you cope with stress. Because of this mechanism, it can have mild improvements on things like testosterone and estrogen balance. It's both good for men and women, and it can be good for, as I said, energy levels, mood. The scientific research shows it is best for its mental and physical fatigue capacities, and it has a long history of traditional use in both Europe and Asia. For some people, it can cause insomnia and irritability. If you've got bipolar disorder, that's another one you'd watch out for. Number three is Maca, and this helps to support energy again, libido, sexual function, and it helps to balance the sex hormones without directly increasing or decreasing them. It can help both men and women. It's probably more famous for being a female herb though, and it can help libido, fertility, PMS, and menopause symptoms. It has moderate scientific evidence for boosting libido and mood, and especially in menopause. Most herbs can have potential side effects, and with Maca it can be things like GI upsets, potentially thyroid issues, and be careful with hormone-sensitive cancers. The next herb we're going to talk about is Fenugreek, and this works by boosting testosterone, helps to support estrogen, and improves insulin sensitivity. For men, the main reason they're going to take it is to improve testosterone and libido. For women, it's going to be estrogen balance, PCOS, and blood sugar issues. And the evidence is very good, especially for boosting testosterone and metabolic health. And you've got to watch out though, because it can increase prolactin, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but if a man especially has high prolactin, that can make things worse. The next herb for men and women is licorice root. And this is probably one of the best herbs for supporting low cortisol levels. And so once again, that's going to help with fatigue and low energy levels. And especially in the morning when you don't have that morning cortisol response. Tests like the Dutch or the hormone Zoomer can track the cortisol levels throughout the day. And if you have a flatline morning cortisol, licorice is the best option. And don't be confused with DGL licorice. This is for gut health. So you want the actual licorice root for cortisol. Potential side effects, it can raise blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, you want to avoid licorice. The next herb is nettle root, and this helps to support free testosterone, modulates estrogen, and help to lower high 5-alpha DHT levels. It can be good for prostate health in men. Nettle can be helpful for men with low testosterone, prostate concerns, and for women with estrogen dominance. It can also help for women metabolize testosterone more effectively. And the scientific evidence is moderate, and especially for prostate health, it's probably the number one herb to add. Potential side effects are minimal. Some people can have an allergic reaction, but that would be rare. The next herb is ginger, and this is a powerful antioxidant, it helps as a digestive aid, and it can help to support testosterone health, improve sperm health, and menstrual balance. So it can be great for both men and women and helps to reduce down inflammation in the gut, which can help hormones and detoxification. Potential side effects of ginger could include heartburn. It can have a mild blood thinning effect, so if you're on blood thinners, you've got to be careful, and you want to avoid high doses in pregnancy, but ginger tea can be fantastic during pregnancy for morning sickness. So these next herbs are especially helpful for women, and the number one is Vitex, otherwise known as Chasteberry or Vitex agnus castus. And this helps to balance FSH and LH, reduces prolactin and regulates the menstrual cycle, can stimulate progesterone. So for some women, it can be good to take in the second half of the cycle, which will help with PMS, irregular cycles, fertility issues, and I've even used it with guys to help with acne. So the scientific evidence is very strong for helping PMS and improving fertility. Potential side effects, once again, are mild. For some people, it can be GI upsets, and you want to avoid in pregnancy unless you're working with an experienced practitioner, and it can be used in the first trimester. The next herb for women is black cohosh, and this mimics the effects of estrogen and it can help with menopause symptoms in particular, like hot flashes. Along with hot flashes, it can help to balance mood and energy levels, and the scientific evidence is good for menopause for black cohosh. Potential side effects, GI upsets. You've got to be careful with liver. 99% of people would have no issue, but if you already have high liver enzymes, you want to use with caution and keep checking liver function. Next is Dong Quai or Angelica sinensis. And this has a mild estrogen effect. It improves menstrual cycle regularity and ease PMS symptoms. So it's particularly good for if you've got PMS cramps, heavy periods, and your cycle is just not consistent. The scientific evidence is moderate for Angelica or Dong Quai, but the traditional use is very strong. It can interact with blood thinners, so if you're on warfarin or those types of blood thinners, you want to avoid. The last herb for women is Chasteberry, and this is an adaptogen, helps with female hormone balance, and it has a mild estrogenic action. It is particularly good for low estrogen levels, menopause, fertility, and promoting ovulation. The traditional evidence is very strong and it's been used for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the scientific evidence is moderate, but there's a lot more research going into Chasteberry now. The only thing you want to avoid with Chasteberry is if you have an estrogen-sensitive cancer. Next, let's look at the herbs that are particularly helpful for men. The first one is Tribulus, and that can help to increase LH, which stimulates testosterone production, which can help libido and sperm quality. For some women, it can also be beneficial for boosting testosterone. The evidence is quite mixed, but the traditional use is fairly strong, and I get good feedback from guys when they're using formulas containing Tribulus. This is one herb you probably want to avoid in prostate cancer, and for some people it can cause insomnia. One of the best researched herbs for men is Tongat Ali, and this boosts the free and total testosterone, and it helps to reduce stress hormones like cortisol. So it's fantastic for boosting testosterone levels, and I've seen good results in clinic with this. Plus, the scientific evidence is quite strong to boost testosterone. For most guys, there'll be no side effects. Sometimes there's GI and also with insomnia in a couple of cases. But usually Tongat Ali is very safe and effective. The next herb for men is pine pollen, and this contains plant-based androgens that can help to support testosterone. So once again, like most of the herbs for men, is to help boost testosterone, help fatigue, and improve libido. Once again, the scientific evidence is only moderate for this, but there's a lot of traditional use for pine pollen. You want to avoid using in hormone-sensitive cancers. At Planet Naturopath, when I work with clients, I do detailed pathology testing for hormones, including LH, FSH, SHBG, free and total testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and DHEA, along with checking other markers like liver and kidney function as a minimum. And depending on your symptoms, we may run other tests. More advanced tests that I can do are things like the Dutch hormone test or the Vibrant Wellness Hormone Zoomer to assess adrenal function, sex hormones, and how the hormones are getting metabolized. So it's important to take a thorough case history, do detailed testing, and then you can work out the best herbs that can help you. Check out the description below for links to recommended tests and other resources. And have you had success improving your hormones with herbs? Leave a comment below and let me know. Be interested to know.